Back in the days when I was student, I was working late nights, right? Jobs like on Hungry Jacks. So you had to wake up and like 10, so, and that's what I think is like I don't have to do that anymore.
Before the devs job, right? And now, what is the multiplier are you getting compared to what you used to get?
I wanted to do something with computer, but I didn't know whether to go with hardware or software. Getting to the interview is one part, and doing good in interviews is another part. I was already building projects at that time, so like I could, so I could just stand apart from the candidates and just stabilize my foundation. So
Hello guys, welcome to the Diary of a Developer. This is season 2, episode 2. Today our guest is Pranish Shrestha, who is software engineer currently working in Sydney. So let's welcome Pranish in the show. Pranish, welcome to the show.
thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm Pranish, and yeah, I've been here in Sydney for about I think 7 years. I came here for like study, and I finished my studies after 3 years, like from 2018 to 2021. Then I started working, so I've been and I'm still working as a software developer. I think which has been my career aspiration as well. So I'm really
Oh, that's great to hear. So when you say career aspiration, where did you find your aspiration to start your career in IT, especially as a software developer?
right. So I didn't have a thought like what to do back in Nepal. So I was like figuring out like I wanted to do something with computer, but I didn't know whether to go with hardware or software. So then after enrolling on bachelor's in information technology here, so there were a few subjects that caught my eye. So one of them were web design, database design, and some of the project 1 and 2. So basically, and after I did the web design and got introduced to HTML and CSS, then I started building websites. Then at that point I knew that I wanted to be a web developer because it was easy in the eyes, and I could basically see the results like as I type in the basically the markup. So I think that basically forwarded me to just think about how I can be a web developer, or like even build something like a web application for starting with the front end and back end and everything. So I
Oh,
think that's where I think I started my
so yeah, I'd
journey.
definitely like to go back and then try to dig all your journey so that anybody who is watching can relate with you. And if they are currently in some situation that you have been through, they can take some advice from you as well. So I'm gonna come back to the present moment and wanna ask you, how's your career going and how are you finding it?
I think it's going great at the moment. Currently I'm working as a full stack software engineer at one of
Great.
the companies, and it's been so far so great. I've been learning every day, and basically I've been researching, then basically applying that like practical knowledge, the whatever I learn to like on my company. So and I'm also getting like results, like I have like a teammates that basically answers my questions, like help me when I'm like stuck.
Mhm.
So I think at this point of my career, I think it's I think good to have like a good team culture where you can thrive and work, so that you can continuously learn, because we have learning journey, right? Like journey
Yeah,
that we have to keep on learning. So I think
learning never stops, isn't
it
it?
never stops, right?
True.
Right.
So, yeah, just want to answer common myth, saying a lot of IT students, they're saying it's hard to get job as a students
Yeah.
while not having PR or citizenship. So, do you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, I think there's definitely like ongoing mindset among people where like saying we can't really get any like an IT job or even like corporate job in
Mm.
general. But the thing is that I think you have to start like early, where you can like for example, when you are studying in your uni, just be a little bit like I think being extra, where you can like spend a bit more time on understanding the concepts, and applying them, so that it doesn't get lost. I think that's how I learned, is that basically just applying it, then learning it, keep on learning it, then applying it, then that makes sure that you are confident on the fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
So even if I'm going through an interview, like as a someone who is like a fresh grad, I would still be able to answer any question, because getting to the interview is one part and doing good in interviews is another part. So if you're lucky enough to get an interview, we make sure that grab that opportunity. So I think that's where I think we can stand apart from the other candidates, is that, just being good at what we do, like what we learn in uni or what we have learned, like, like an extra, like spending time on what you want to learn. So I
Mm.
think that takes a long way. So
But you
I
don't have to stop thinking that as a international IT student, they can get the job, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, this is like a myth. I really need to break that down. We have
yeah,
many students who got, even like while they, before they join the university, who have joined us in the past, they have actually got the job as a part-time software developer role, and it is very much possible if you understand, you know, the industry. There is a project called brownfield project, greenfield project. So if you know the right size of the company, like startup, like we talked earlier before, there are a lot of startups, they're looking for people like even part-time developer. Yeah, it is absolutely hard, but you
it,
need to become an extra exceptional to
yeah.
get there, and there is
Yeah, it's
opportunity,
it's
isn't it?
not impossible, but it's, yeah, definitely takes time and effort, but I think it's definitely possible. You just don't have to, you have to have a mindset, like growth mindset, where don't give up.
Mm.
Because if I had like a mindset where I'm like, okay, like the people behind me haven't gotten a job, like for like applying for 2 3 years, then I wouldn't have gotten my job. You just have to keep on pushing hard. I think
Yeah.
that's the main part, is that you just don't give up. Like
And I
just
think
the
important part
resilience.
is
Yeah.
here, I believe the starting. Many people don't even start
Yeah.
because they think, well, I'll finish the degree and then I'll start. I think it's
Yeah.
already late, I would say.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that statement, because I started on my last year, like from the,
Last
yeah,
semester.
yeah, the
Hmm.
not the last, but the semi last, I think the one
Oh,
before.
oh wow, that's a
Yeah.
good timing.
Yeah, exactly, because I was already building projects at that time. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I could, so I could just stand apart from the candidates and
Mm-hmm.
just, stabilize my foundation. So you just have to start early, but yeah, that just gives you an edge over the other candidates, where you're comfortable with what you have learned. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes a long way.
True. Okay, now let's go back and try to dig your history. How did you basically build your career through in terms of the mindset, your time, and the all the grind you had to do in order to where you are today, you know? So when did you get your first dev job in Australia, and how did you get it? Do you want to share?
Yeah. I was working in one of these, like a startup in,
What were you working at that time, just to
so
pay the bills,
yeah, I
if you
was,
don't mind sharing?
yeah, yeah. I was working at that time. I was working as like a concierge. So basically at apartments,
Oh,
where you
that's
have.
not that
So yeah, so it was behind the desk. So it was
yeah.
like pretty easy job.
Yeah,
So
when I
that's,
came in Australia earlier, I used to like do back in this long time ago. I used to do a lot of cleaning and kitchen and
yeah,
so
yeah,
that's I would say still a good job. At least white collar job, they were
yeah.
the good side.
Oh
I
yeah, definitely
enjoyed
a
it.
suit, and yeah, definitely when you go to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what I was working, but
Mm-hmm.
when there was downtime during my work, I would still study at that time. So
Okay.
because I was behind the computer and I had access to the internet, right?
Oh, good on you.
So I could, yeah, study like the study materials as well. So yeah, so yeah, and during that time I would also apply for jobs, like, like for, internship, because at that point I didn't have experience. I just wanted to build my portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
So I started applying, and and one of the early job that I got heard back from was like from like a startup incubator. So
Mm,
basically I joined. So it was, yeah, just for record, it was unpaid, but the thing is I wanted experience more than money at that point.
that's
So
true.
I just took that as, then I joined that company and just stayed there for like few months, and I'm like, okay, I can put that in my resume now.
Mm,
and and the good thing about that was, right after I put that on my LinkedIn, so the managing director of the company reached out to me on LinkedIn saying that there is a job opportunity, and would you like to, take a part in the interview process,
mm,
right? The interview was exactly what I was doing for the last year,
mm,
and there was like, I think, around 20 candidates, like, so right, I had to set apart from. So they were
true.
asking me to build an like a full stack project.
Take home
So
project.
take home project was like building like a Google Drive clone, where
Oh,
you
nice.
can serialize the basically your files into MongoDB, like
Okay.
using GridFS module.
Okay.
And basically, I had to build a dashboard to download and upload, basically.
Okay.
And I had to do that on like 2 days, but I did that on like 18 hours.
Oh wow,
And
that's a
because
lot of
I was
work.
already doing stuff by that point, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was already building projects like from the first of the last, I think the last year of my university.
Mm.
So I already had the confidence at that point that okay, I can, yeah, do this. So I passed that interview with flying colors.
Oh wow.
Then yeah, it was teaching slash dev job
Mm-hmm.
that basically I had to move to Brisbane.
Mm.
So I moved to Brisbane. Then I started teaching, like as like a being a full stack developer at that point. So I was like a fundamental. So that also helped me to build my even like fundamentals much better again, because since I was teaching, I had to learn, keep on learning, right? Because
True.
students ask questions from anywhere, and just have to be well prepared
Mm.
before you go to into a class. And that just basically kept me on my toes at that point. So, and yeah, and that's how
That's
I
the
started
fastest.
my,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the fastest way to learn. So I always
by
tell my
teaching.
student, yeah,
Yes,
we have saying when you teach others, you get to learn twice.
exactly.
So I keep focusing student, please go home and teach your partner, but make sure your partner is not like a bore enough to like you are
Yeah,
not boring them to death, for
yeah,
example, or until they slap you to say stop, you know.
yeah,
So when you start teaching, you really understand the deeper level of the technology, you know, and that's why you really master it, and that's what company are looking for. One thing I wanna just was keeping note here. I wanna touch up into the internship. There's a lot of students like first they just want to look for internship without even having prior little bit of experience on something, you know. So do you think if you didn't have any foundation level of actual practical skills, because you
yeah,
were building the project before the internship, isn't it?
yeah.
So if you didn't have that experience building the project, do you think you would have cracked the interview?
Yeah, not really. To be honest, like it was, I think, impossible to crack, because they ask questions like really on your fundamentals, and they ask questions that are basically on your day to day job, right?
Mm,
Basically, problems from your day to day job, and without understanding the problem itself, you can't really answer those questions, and you would fail on the first interview, first tech interview. So I
yeah,
think that basically cements the fact that you just have to be well prepared. So
exactly.
basically, you just have to be well prepared at any time, because the interview opportunity can come for
At
any
any
time.
time.
Yeah.
True.
So it's like you just have to be well prepared,
Yeah.
and just be ready to fire when the time comes.
So that means you don't have time to start learning at that time. You need to start learning from at least 6 months or 1 year
Yeah.
before preparing yourself, and especially focusing on the core technology skill, like technical skills. You need to build before you say you are ready. Sometimes I even say, student, don't waste your time. Just go and applying unless you have the skill, because the technical skill is the key to the job market, right?
Yeah.
If you cannot really open to the job market, don't bother trying applying, because then you're gonna just get rejected
Yeah.
anyway. And instead of getting that rejection email that would hurt, rather spend that time, build that projects, update your LinkedIn like you did,
Yeah.
and try to get offer through the LinkedIn like you did.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be amazing?
Yeah, the hard skills is definitely one of the things you need. And yeah, of course, soft skills also takes you, but soft skills can take you to the interview, right? but
Mm,
but if you can't really solve problems, then
then
then at that point you would fail.
yeah, we have this one formula we use here, the triads of job landing process. So in there we have like a experience. You need to gain the experience through building the project in the hard skills, and then other side we have the offer. You need to know the way to get the job offer, like
Yeah.
you use the LinkedIn well, and that's exactly what every single career switcher or early career starter should be doing it in order
Yeah.
to get the job, right? And at the end we have the bottom side, we have the communication, where you need to be able to crack the job by using the communication skill, technically or soft skill, you know.
Yeah.
So unless you have all of them right,
Yeah.
you're probably not going to crack the job, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when you're interviewing, you're actually talking to the people, right? You are
Mm-hmm.
communicating, you are just building rapport.
Mm.
So you definitely have to have, like, to get to an interview, to just on your phone screening process, because you get most of the time you get phone call from the recruiter saying what's your skills, and basically you have to sell yourself, like you sell your skills, like what you've learned. So at that point you just have to yeah, make sure that you don't fall on that first stage, apply the knowledge, and you also communicate well so that they understand, okay, like I actually know the topic that I'm
Yeah,
talking about, right?
true.
Actually own the thing, like what they're talking about.
That's the important thing, because if you cannot communicate what you know, how would
Yeah,
other person know how much you know, right?
yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, many people get confused here with their pronunciation skill. Yeah, it is important, but it's okay to have your strong accent, like we still have it, you know.
Yeah,
How well can you interpret
yeah,
some topics technically, non-technically,
yeah,
and there is some methods you used for communication, right?
yeah,
How well you can do all those sort of things, like those sort of things you need to have on your tool, so that when you get the opportunity, make sure you snap it,
yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
So that's what you did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the same first job. So did you have any fear that you might get the job, might not get the job, and fear of learning, fear of missing the industry? And if you had it, how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I think definitely, like for a first job, you feel very nervous. You don't know how the corporate work, first of all. You also don't know like how the company like, functions, right? As a whole, how to work well in a team. So there's a lot of aspects. Nervousness comes from, I think, not preparing well,
Lack of.
the lack of confidence in your skills. I feel like, as I kept on learning new things, as I kept on like, just building up on the things that I have already built, so that gave me like enough confidence saying that okay, even if I go to that job, I'm able to do it well. And I'm able to excel on what I do and make sure that I stand apart. So just build more, I think, the more confidence
And then
on
mindset,
yourself, and yeah,
strong mindsets. Yeah.
and mindset that you are able to perform whatever tasks they give you.
Mm,
Because in real world you're solving a lot of like real world problems, right?
true.
And you have to be resilient, like
Mm,
even if you fail, you might fail, that
yeah.
there's no in our workspace, right? But you just have to be resilient enough.
How fast can you come back
Yeah,
and
how
then
fast you can
start
bounce
all over
back.
again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell me when you started actually doing your practical learning part
Yeah.
and the day you get the job, what was the timeline?
So I started, let's say, I think I graduated on like November 16 of 2020, right? By the like December of 2019, I was already, building
Projects.
something.
Mhm.
Even like simple like weather app, right? I think
Yeah.
that's what everybody does, like build
Yeah.
like tic-tac-toe.
Yeah. Start with that's.
Start with like simple things,
Mm,
right? Understand how it works, understand how everything works.
mm-hmm.
And I started building then small stuff, because I think when you start learning, right, and if you run into some of the roadblocks, right, sometimes you don't, it's very hard to figure out what exactly it's
Because you
doing,
don't
right?
know what you don't know at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time.
yeah, you don't know what you don't know, right? And you
Mm.
just have to make sure, I think there's a hurdle that every developer faces during the first developing, is that sometimes you feel that you know everything, right? And at the same time you run into a problem, it's like, okay, I don't
I
know
know
that,
nothing, anything, and then you're
nothing
gonna
at
feel
all,
like
right?
sometimes stressful in
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's become stressful. So I think you just have to keep on, even though there's like some roadblocks, you just have to keep on doing. My university had project 1 and 2, where you had to build an actual project.
Mm,
So I was building, at that point I was building like a full stack e-commerce project, right, for
mm,
the last 2 semesters, right?
mm-hmm.
So I was already building some like CM, like some kind of like a content management system.
CMS. Mm-hmm.
So yes, and I think I finished my degree in November 16, and I got my job at December.
So
So and in a
that means
month.
around 2 semester to practice before you get the job.
Yeah, I would say so,
Two
because
semesters. So
yeah,
let's say 6 to 7 months at least.
yeah, 6 to 7 months,
Mm,
because yeah, because I used I think the coursework
mm,
also kept me busy,
mm,
whereas this time for actually doing something extra was a bit smaller, because I was working, as I
mm,
said, and I was studying like
mm-hmm.
as well. So just just balance out that thing. I think it just took me 6 7 months, but I think that might be shorter if you're just fully focused on, like learning.
Or if you had mentor to walk you through
Yeah, you
some of this
mentor
stuff.
too. Yeah, exactly, because I didn't have mentor. I was teaching myself. I
Yeah.
was learning from like W3 schools, those, and the like YouTube, like Brad Traversy,
Yeah, Traversy Media. I love
yeah,
that guy.
Travis
Yeah.
Media. Yeah, exactly. So following that tutorial, and you might run into tutorial hell, right?
Yeah. So the important here is what I can say from your side is that you first put yourself out there and block the time, and then actually start learning yourself. You
Yeah,
understand that you need technical skill in order to get into the industry.
yeah,
You learn the skills, you try continuously try implementing, and even try to build app. You watching many videos. Most of the students, I'm not sure why they don't even do that. I still have a lot of people, come and ask for the suggestion. I talk to students daily basis. Still, my DMs are pretty much full asking questions. I said, have you started building any project? Or do we need to? Actually, that's what they say. I said, yes, you have to. We don't care about your certification, but we care about your project. Go build the
yeah,
project. Many students, maybe they are lacking the roadmap,
yeah,
or they don't have a time,
yeah,
because working, financial burden, and family time and college. So you are on that situation as well. So like, what was the toughest time for you, and how did you manage that? If anybody is in the same situation where, let's say, they want to learn it, they find it extremely hard to find the time to go and learn, what advice can you give to those people, how to make time or how to speed up their learning?
yeah. I think the most important thing is you just have to have like a clear, let's say, guideline, like what you want to, because when you start learning, you're learning one thing, you're learning another thing in 2 days. You don't have a clear plan, you don't have a clear guideline to follow. So sometimes people get lost, like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to do this, but you need something else to do that first to reach to that stage, right? So meaning I can't like build a website without learning like an HTML or CSS or
True.
like
It's like
JavaScript,
you need to learn
building blocks,
A
right?
to B from,
Yeah,
like, in order to know B, you need to
yeah,
learn A. In order to know
yeah,
C, you need to learn B, and then
yeah,
learn A.
yeah. For example, if you're learning JavaScript or like any languages, right, you have to understand, how variables work, right? You can't just directly go and, let's say, write an app out of the scratch. You
Mm.
can write like a full app, like
Mm.
before even knowing what an thing
Foundation
is.
fundamentals required for you
Fundamentals
to build
is,
the
yeah.
app.
Yeah, I mean, right now AI will build it for you, but you have to understand, what it's outputting, right? Like,
True.
you can't just go blindly
Mm.
and just, just work and take out the work and just paste it, copy and paste it, right? You just have to understand what it's actually outputting. I would say like have a clear plan, and to find time, what is like you just have to spend like just a bit time, let's say like even 30 minutes is good enough, but you have to do it consistently,
Every day, like
every day,
we say,
every day.
brushing principle.
Yeah,
Brush every
exactly.
day. Don't only brush
Yeah,
once a
yeah.
month whole day,
Just
right?
15 minutes is good enough. If you're learning a particular topic, right, for 15 minutes a day, just
Mm.
I think there is a concept called bite-sized learning now.
Correct.
Like
Mm.
people just take information because if you're learning for a long time, you get, I think fatigue,
Burnout, yeah.
burnout, right?
Mm.
Just take in like a bite size every day, or if you can't maintain every day, just do it every 2 days, right,
Mm.
just but have it consistently.
Mm.
Like consistency is the, I think, key here, where you can, otherwise sometimes you'll lose the drive. For example, if I leave a project for like 15, like a month or so, right,
Mm.
you lose the drive to complete that project.
Correct.
So you just have to keep on consistently, putting your effort, right? I think that's the main key.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to put in like your even if you can't maintain like the time, you just have to make sure that you have a clear plan on what to achieve in 3 months, maybe
Yeah.
6 months, right?
Mm.
You have a milestone for
Mm.
you, for yourself, saying, okay, even if I can't learn every day, okay, I have a milestone that I want to learn, like, let's say, building something in
Mm.
like 3 months. So
True.
to have that milestone is also very important, I think, like goal in
Mm.
mind.
Mm. Short-term goal versus
Yeah,
long-term
so
goal.
short term goal,
Mm.
long term, and once you finish it, create a new goal, because at the end of the goal you feel empty, right? So
Yeah.
you just have to keep on creating like new goals,
Mm.
I think, or new like system
I think yeah, that will definitely help them continuously learn. So just to add on there, this is what I usually advise the students or anybody who don't really join us, but they still want to try themselves. So I say, first, as you said, make the plan and then put the timeline into it, right? And how can you put the timeline? You need to go back and check your calendar. Most of the students don't even have a calendar.
Yeah.
That means they don't even know where the time is going, right? So what anybody need to understand is if they really want to learn the development skill is that they need to know first what they need to learn. It is out there available everywhere. Yeah, that's the easy part. The hard part is that is um, like you said, breaking down into the steps and then creating the short-term goal, 1 week goal. And then to achieve that goal, the implementing the time block they need, that's the most hardest part I have seen. And what they say is that, okay, I'll learn, they have like a overestimate that I can learn this in 1 week. And they try to do so hard learning topics which they have pretty much never seen it. And then as soon as they can make it and start giving them the negative vibe, because they overcommitted. So chunking that down to smallest goal, maybe as you said, start with the 15 minutes bite-sized learning first, right? And then see how you go with that. And then you can even have one mentor to say, okay, can you tell me if I'm starting from zero, how long does it take for me to learn this topics? And then reverse engineer the timeline and then set the long-term goal, right? So that you can exactly know when you're going to become one developer. So don't overcome it like, I want to become developer in 3 months or 1 month, because sometimes we miss the actual roadmap. So I think as you said, if anybody follows that plan, I think that will eventually make anybody developer, right?
Yeah, get them into like right track.
Yeah, true. If I ask you to say, if you have to go back and do all over again,
Yeah.
you'd do that probably, right? So
Yes.
is there anything specific you would like to, like, say, if you go back and you have to do all over again, what change would you do or make on your career progress so that you get the job faster?
One thing I did, I think, really good back then was to, to focus on what I wanted to do, because I knew I wanted to be this like software engineer or like web developer at that point of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what I would do is that start, applying it in projects pretty soon, applying the knowledge. I did that pretty late, because what I was doing is that I was learning and I was doing, the problem solving, like, feedback, like data structure algorithm, right? Algorithm, I was practicing algorithm, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, in real world, you are actually building complex projects, you are building projects,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you are working with many developers, yeah, you are communicating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I would do, I think, is to, you know uh, make sure that I uh, build more projects from the start, and also um, contribute to maybe like open source projects. I think
Yeah,
one of the
that's a
things
great,
is like
great idea. Or find someone to work
find
together.
someone to, yeah, I think that's definitely what I wanted to go, is
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah,
was waiting for
definitely.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because when you do peer programming,
Mm.
and yeah, so you basically learn from each other, right? You know how to coordinate
That's
the
kind of
goal,
small simulation of real impact.
simulation of your workplace, right?
Yes,
You don't know
correct.
you know how to use Git properly when you work in like this team, how to fix merge conflicts and everything, right?
True. I just wanna like discuss about like jumping and switching the job, how easy and how hard it is to progress into the career or change the career in the software industry once you get the job. Usually, the first job is always hard.
Yeah.
Second one, we always say easy. So, can you walk me through your second and third job? How did you get it, and what is the factor that helped you to get job faster? Anybody who is currently, let's say, stuck in their job
Yeah.
right now, and they may be not happy but not confident to get another job. Can you share your experience on that?
Yeah, definitely. I think the first job was the hardest, like, and it was like, yeah, depending on different factors. But the second job, now you have the experience, right? Now you have the experience on your belt that can be used as a leverage to, get better offers. Now, basically, one of the best thing you can do is to properly build your resume. at this
Mm.
point, and building the correct like resume so that ATS can read. Sometimes it goes through the computerized
Mm.
system, right?
Mm. Mm.
Then you get like couple of interviews, right? Even if you don't get to all of them, you'll get couple of interviews, like phone calls pretty soon, right?
Mm. Mm.
So and basically at that point it's easier for us to get an interview, and interview is the first step anyway.
Mm.
So now you already have the hard skills, which is your technical skill, right?
Mm.
So you can basically, if you are really good at what you do, you can easily like like pass the interview, like, and get multiple offers easily. I think, yeah. So the first part was just getting an interview, which we can, yeah, basically through the good resume building. And the second part is now, since if you are good in fundamentals, if you understand your subject well, you should be able to easily pass your technical skill assessment. Of course, there are like sometimes there's a cultural interview,
Mm.
there is a different, that's more on
Different
people
layer,
skills.
yeah,
Yeah,
different layer of the
behavioral
interviews.
interview, right?
Yeah.
That people could fail.
Mm.
But again it's a practice, right?
Mm.
Because you can prepare for an interview for certain situation, like using, like for behavioral you can use star pattern. There's like a lot of materials out there
It's,
that
yeah.
you can basically follow to actually model your answer properly,
Mm.
so that they like interviewer also will feel, I think, more comfortable with you when you just have to make sure that you make your interviewer, I think, comfortable,
Mm.
and it's just like you're actually talking,
Yeah.
having back and forth conversation.
Mm.
And for my the third one, which was just last year, so it was
Okay.
like around December, so it was not a good time,
Mm-hmm.
because December, like most of the offices closed, but I was
Yeah.
still able to get interviews. And all of it boiled down to the technical skill at that point,
Yeah,
because
that's a great
that's
insight.
what I've been doing for the last, I think, 3-4 years. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the first interview that in my current company was like purely technical,
Mm-hmm.
like purely understanding the depths. It was not on the breadth, but
Mm-hmm.
on the depth. For example, like on event loops on JavaScript, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like understanding what generics and TypeScript are. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
it was like depth of the knowledge that was tested on.
Mm.
So yeah, that played a huge role on, I think,
Oh,
getting easy offers.
let's say, what was the one underrated skills that aspiring software developers should learn in 2025?
Underrated is definitely, I think it's a generic answer, but
Yeah.
definitely a communication skills, because
Yeah.
why I say that is that on your job you're not just coding, you're
Mm.
actually involved in a lot of meetings.
True.
You are involved in, like, let's say, architectural meetings. You have to give presentations. You have to make sure to sell what you do. For example, if I'm building something and I have to prove my point, I have to be good at communicating, saying,
Mm.
okay, this should be done this way, and this is the so I have to communicate with the developers
Mm.
well, and I have to contribute to the meeting
Mm.
as well. So I think the communication skills takes you a long way once you are in the company.
I think without it, you can't even get into the industry in first place,
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it? This is
that's
something.
true.
This is something like you build the communication, it will get you to the industry, and then once you get into the industry, you'll build more confidence, and then you learn more
Yeah,
communication. Then now it will help you to excel your career,
yeah.
isn't it?
It will help you network, I
Yeah.
think, as well, and you'll build like relationships, and that will also further help you on your careers.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, the promotion and everything is, of course, your tech skills, but you also have to have like a good social skills, just to make sure you show your strength to your manager, or like if you don't showcase your skills, nobody's gonna know, right?
Yeah,
And
it's
you just have to
definitely true. Yeah.
so you just have to make sure that you communicate well, and you just make sure that, yeah,
You market your
yeah,
skills.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so with that saying, I want to quickly add on something. So, marketing is definitely it's very vital nowadays to get offer in the LinkedIn like you did. So, first offer you got in your LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
So, how did you get your second offer? Did you
um
apply or
it,
somebody reached out to you?
it was through Seek.
So you
So
applied
I
application.
applied
What
for
about
the
third one?
third one was through and LinkedIn. I didn't apply for it.
You got the
The
offer
Yeah,
in.
yeah, I got a call from a recruiter, because my yeah because at that point of time,
Mm.
uh, I think the recruiter was, I think, communicating with my manager because we were going through those redundancy process.
Okay.
So, like whole like Australian team was going redundant.
Mm.
So I think people were, I think, reaching out to my manager, and manager recommended me.
Oh,
So I got a call
good.
straight away. So I didn't have to do any reference check at that point because
Because the manager already
manager
referred you.
already
Yeah,
referred
some
you.
company
So
do this if they have a good team member and they have to downsize the team.
yeah,
They basically reach out other company and other recruiters saying, "Hey, we have this good team. We really love them, but unfortunately, we can't really keep it. And then would you like to, screen them?" And that comes from your character as well. If you have shown good character in the company, if you're really doing hard work to prove yourself best, not only building the project, also building yourself,
yeah,
character development, and they will see that character trait and they will feel proud to, pass on to it. Since this is the entry level career role, most of the company they do not advertise into the job search portal, right?
yes,
And they are filled through either network or they send the job offer in the LinkedIn like you received.
yeah,
And I always tell them it is super important you build the LinkedIn profile
yeah,
and then let people find you. You're probably gonna tap 80% job market if you do that, right?
yeah.
So that's why I wanted you to hear your journey so that anybody who is watching now understand the importance of networking.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one thing I took advantage of during my last job search was because LinkedIn has like a free premium for like 2 months, right? You
Okay.
can basically use leverage that, to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
because that basically, markets yourself, because when you have premium, the visibility is high.
Mm,
So I think
correct.
that also helps you. So, and that's free for 2 months,
Yeah.
right? So
One important thing I want to add on that is that if you guys really want to get to the premium and if you haven't already utilized it, don't use it yet. First, go back, build your LinkedIn profile to the professional level, update every single section, then learn the core technical skills that is high in demand in your local area. Build at least one or two project,
yeah.
put in there, and then maybe use that.
Yeah.
Then otherwise you're gonna waste, isn't it?
Yeah, for the first job, you don't have experience, so you just have to fill it with portfolio, right?
Mm.
You have to fill it with projects
Mm.
that you can talk about.
There is a fear among IT students or the aspiring developer who hasn't got the job yet, and they are listening the advice from most of the people who haven't actually worked as a software developer in the industry. And the advice is saying now AI is replacing developer, don't bother learning to become a developer. So what advice do you wanna give to those students or anybody who planning to build a career, but because of the other people advice, they are trying to stop dreaming that career? Based on as a developer, what do you see AI replacing developers?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be like, go away like the software engineering role, because we're not building like static websites. We're building complex project, that goes through, like, for example, compliance regulations, right? Depending on what you're working on. So there definitely needs to be like a human element that basically reviews. I feel, yeah, there is, the market has shifted, but I think it's not to the point that people are, like, needs to be afraid that there's gonna take a job. It's gonna open up a new opportunities. I see it in that way, is where
Correct.
it opens up new opportunities, new avenues, how you can work, and how the job market is gonna change.
Yeah, I think yeah, I agree with you too. So I think it's if we put another way, we need to like a brutal way. It's time to level up. Yeah. So what we used to consider as a junior dev is like you need to be more better than that. It's not going to replace the developer, but developer can definitely speed up their work
Yeah,
and then maybe replace those who can even do basic stuff, right? So
yeah,
it's time for like even junior developer, they need to first really master the foundation fundamental. Then once they already know it, use the AI to speed up that part which they know, which is a repetitive part, and then keep learning something complex stuff. I was watching one of the podcast, the Microsoft CEO was talking about, because he is a coder, hard coder himself. He still does coding time to time, and he was saying, yeah, basic maybe UI component or something can be created by the AI, but now every developer I think should start thinking about a system architecture point of view.
Yeah.
And if you can think about that in terms of the developer and think about as a product first engineer, I think it will always put you ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I think system design or architecture is definitely, like, I think every developer needs to learn,
Mm.
because you are, I think, when you're building a product, right? You're building for thousands or millions of customers, right? You
Mm.
just have to think about how we can
Skill, yeah.
scale, or how we can handle the load, right?
Mm.
It's not about building a website and just deploying it and it works. Yeah, you just have to make sure that it works on all, like, browsers or like your phones, right?
Mm.
So there's a lot of aspects, right? It's, we can't just say that, I think, looking from a single viewpoint, it's okay, it's gonna replace it. And as you mentioned, being a product mindset definitely helps, to, build products that are basically, because you are thinking from in terms of customer, right? Like
Mm.
how they want to use.
Mm.
And being a product first definitely helps, to, build the better products that you want to use, right? At
Right.
the end of the day, it's for the end user,
Correct.
and you want to make the product as you want to use it, I would say.
Right. So yeah, I teach my students. So before we go dive deep into developing projects, so we basically follow this actual software development lifecycle, Scrum method, building any project, like even smallest to the large complex project. And I always say them, close your eyes and imagine as if somebody is using application from the very first time to the last part of the transaction and see the journey of the user, right? And if you think that and bring into the development, I think then you can truly build the project. So that's exercise we do as well, and it's very important for anybody, especially guys if you're starting out. That's an important skill you need to have as well. So I'm just moving a little bit away from AI. So okay, before that, do you use AI in day-to-day life? How do you use it in your workplace, at your home?
Yeah, I do use it day to day. I think, when I'm, like, have some questions about, for example, if I'm working on some of the, let's say, like certain, like, packages, let's say,
Mhm.
like npm packages, let's say, right? Any of the packages. So to, documentation is good, but if I want to just have a summary of everything, like how this works,
Mhm.
I think that definitely helps. Even on my work, I use it to summarize a lot of, like, those, documentations, so
Writing
that I
docs.
can go through, yeah, writing docs, or even, like, how do I make it better, like how
Mhm.
do I, um what's the use case, and what's the, because there are, like, different settings and stuff, so what exactly this setting does. I've been using it, to just augment my research and documentation.
Have you implemented or any thing going on in your company where we're gonna say, okay, now we're gonna implement Crosser or some AI, the code gen tool as part of the work?
Not at the moment, I think, due to regulation, and I think due to the, the nature of the work that I do, we don't have anything at the moment, because using AI tools, I think, it's farm for big data, right?
Hmm.
At the end of,
That's
if
why
you're
my
writing proprietary code, right, you don't want it to go on the web for, like, other, like, providers to, like, train on, right? So
exactly. So you don't want to just put out there and somebody else discover the code
yeah,
address. So yeah, software engineering role is fairly safe, but definitely not safe as if you just don't want to learn and grow.
yeah,
And you need to learn, you need to grow, adapt it, and then even learn to develop one.
yeah.
Build your own AI, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think prototyping has been so much easier. Like, if I
Yeah.
wanted just to build, like, a MVP of, like, some product, right?
Yeah. Mm.
I can basically just say, okay, build me this and that.
And then just give me
Yeah,
how it looks, at least for
cover,
the.
like, yeah.
Mhm.
And, I think the prompt, because you have to understand the code before you prompt it, right? Because you don't know exactly
What to
what
ask,
what to
right?
ask. So
Exactly.
so if you understand the fundamentals better, if you
Mm.
understand if you understand what you're doing, then it's gonna be a godsend. Otherwise, if you don't know, if you're just, like, scrambling for hours, just, okay, I don't know why it works, just say, okay, this doesn't work, fix it for me. It's not gonna, you have to have enough context, right?
True. So you definitely need to learn how to build the project before you can use the AI to build the project. Otherwise, you're gonna build a broken project.
Yeah,
Not good for the company, not
yeah,
good for your
yeah,
career. Okay. Our space is, I think, one of the fastest evolving space, and especially not only in the consumer side, it's for the developer as well. We need to keep update with the latest trend, technology, even like own tech stack. So what's your current tech stack and how do you use day to day? And what is the process you keep yourself updated with this tech evolution?
Yeah, my current company tech stack is React, I think, on the front end, right? So we are using micro front end as well as like microservices on back end.
Cool.
So we have Node.js running in the back end, and since we are microservices, we're using message queue, which is I think Kafka,
Mm-hmm.
to distribute messages across microservices.
So they're using AWS probably.
I think we are in house.
Oh, okay. Really?
So we are
Interesting to know.
managing, yeah. So our DevOps team and infra team manages all the resources.
Okay.
So I'm if I'm deploying something, if I need resources, I'll actually have to make a ticket to DevOps to actually assign some resources.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I think, yeah, day-to-day tasks would be me working on a certain problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, let's say I want to decrease the latency of like this particular API
Mm-hmm.
and see how we can improve it. Why is there is a CPU spike? Why is there like a memory leak
Mm-hmm.
that's causing like going out of memory issues? So that requires you to go in depth. For Node.js, you have to understand how the heap snapshot is done, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand what how like concurrency on JavaScript, right? So you just have
Oh,
to
okay.
understand what.
Concurrency in JavaScript, that's definitely a
Yeah,
cool topics to discuss.
yeah, exactly. So
Mm,
so my day-to-day involves like, I think, yeah. So um making sure that the system is reliable.
mm. And
And
how do you find the way to keep update with the industry trend?
oh yeah, so definitely I think the with the industry trend is to I follow blogs and some users, like for example Primazine, or like the even Theo, I think, on YouTube. I
Mm-hmm.
follow them regularly. I read those like reports. They summarize it,
Mm,
like saying what's going on like in even space. And I read some blogs that summarizes information.
mm-hmm.
So because there is lot to take, and so just following like a certain tech influencer, I would say, that basically knows their stuff,
Mm-hmm.
just helps me to understand what's actually going. I think those are the things that I do. I think on day to day, it's like to, if I'm like after 5 or before going to bed, I would check in, like go to the YouTube video and watch like the blog or the, let's say, doc, like the TikTok, right?
True. This is very important, guys. And if you're watching, you guys are definitely in the right place. If you haven't already subscribed, guys, do subscribe because I bring a lot of content, how to build your career in tech industry like this, like we have Pranish today. And we also create the tech content or the development content. So go check out the channel and see, build some project if you are starting. So definitely try to find the way to stay updated, even if you are just starting right now. Otherwise, you'll fall behind too. So now I want to just discuss about the hiring perspective. So it will help other people who is currently looking for the job or in the pipeline to get hired. So what do you do that catch the attention of the recruiter or hiring manager?
Due to the inception of AI, I think you have to make an extra effort to stand out.
Mm-hmm.
So just building, like it's like simple projects would, I don't think, would be enough. So
No.
yeah, so I think you just have to build some projects that basically, that solves like problems, right?
Yeah.
In like, even though it might not be complex, you just have to build some projects that are distinct. You can't just build like a, for example, like a weather app and just
Yeah.
like you put it on your project portfolio, right?
No.
You just have to build really interesting projects. For example, I think one of the things that I built was like a Trello clone where you
Oh,
can,
cool. Yeah.
drag and drop,
Feature.
those
Yeah.
like feature, I think.
Mm.
And yeah, make and creating workspaces, all this stuff. I think you just have to build really,
Something more
innovative.
easy. Yeah. We have this final capstone project.
Yeah.
This is where we tell students go find out what is the current problem there.
Yeah.
So basically, like we use all the platform, many platform like social platform to productivity to work platform, and we always find something. I wish they have this feature,
Yeah.
right? That could be the problem that you can solve it, and then if you can take that problem and actually you build the solution as part of your project, imagine the confidence you'll get on the interview.
Yeah.
right?
Basically, you're talking about what you built, right? And
Exactly, and
does it?
it's only yours and your mindset. Because in the interview, I don't only want to know the project and coding. I want to know the mindset. I
Yeah.
want to know your problem solving process.
Yeah, definitely. I think if I'm interviewing,
Yeah,
yeah, like people, I would definitely look at. Of course, you have to solve problems. Yeah, like tech skills. I also look into like how they, whether they want to learn new stuff. Like because most of the time, you haven't, learned some of the tech stack that company uses.
true.
You just have to show them that okay, you can learn in like a specific amount of time, and you can, just like skill up
Yeah, and you
basically in the
have a
job.
process to learn
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what happened in my current job. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I was interviewing, I think I had a lot of, I think, gaps on like a backend.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, like microservices, I was not really, I haven't really worked on it. So, but
Mm-hmm.
the I think questions my current manager, I think Arun, basically told me like whether I'm willing to learn, right? Like do
Mm.
in this and this contribute. So I think that's just your attitude matters a lot.
True. That's
Like
true.
when you're interviewing, and I think that basically yeah just helped me to stand out and get the job as well.
That's great. And if you were hiring your own replacement,
Yeah.
what would you look for?
Yeah. So I think I would definitely look for yeah someone who can understand the language on depth, how like they can break down complex problem into like a simpler ones.
Mm-hmm.
I would look into that in attitude as well.
Yes.
And I think for like hard tech skills, I think if they are comfortable on showing me the process, like thinking process is what I do when I'm actually interviewing. What I test is whether how is their thinking process, right? Because sometimes your solution in the interview space you're nervous, you
Mm-hmm.
can't, sometimes you miss, right? But if you can communicate me yeah, properly your thought process, and at least show me that you understand few of this stuff
Mm-hmm.
and correlate and work, and then I think that shows I think really great I think aspect or like of the
That's what you're
person.
gonna look for on some your
Yeah.
replacement. Yeah, guys, there you go. You got a lot of tips that make sure you start learning that thing as well. So now, what's something you thought mattered for getting hired when you started, but it didn't?
Yeah, okay. One of the things, I mean, even in the current context, I think people really don't ask about what you did on your degree, to be honest. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think they normally ask the projects that you build, right? Nobody has asked me like what subjects that you studied that set apart you from like, I think that was one of the things because each company is different, and some company follows like lead code, right? Like algorithms,
Yeah,
right?
DSA, data
DS
structure and
data
algorithm.
structure and algorithm, right? Some company follows that, but some company doesn't.
Mm.
So it's a yeah, it's I was my preconception was like every company would be following, the
DSA.
DSA and
Mm.
stuff, but that's not true at all
Mm.
because yeah, I have given like few interviews that basically focus on like for like DSAs as well. It's for yeah only some subset of like the role that actually requires it. I mean, it's not. It depends on the company culture. It
Mm.
depends on the company like hiring
Company and
process.
also the importantly the what company do
Yeah,
and the size of the company as well. Usually small to medium sized company, they more focus on development, project development side, or they are the agency, they want somebody to truly build the great product. Versus medium to large company, when they have to only think about the scaling part, then they look for more like DSA and these skills.
definitely. Like yeah, the I think Fang. It's like Facebook,
Yeah,
like Meta, right? Those are the
the,
because they have a lot of people to screen the interview.
yeah, they have a long process. I think this should be another whole podcast
Yeah.
we can do on that. So, any surprising LinkedIn or resume hacks for anybody who is currently applying?
I think just make sure to list all of your skills because I think a lot of the things that recruiter does is to sort like filter by like certain skills when they are actually looking for making a like a LinkedIn
Headhunting
head
process.
hunting, right?
Mhm.
They're looking for certain keywords.
Mm.
Make sure you have that I think skill, all the skills that you have to put into the skill sections, and make sure to add all of your experience. Of course, that's I think that's easy as said. um I think for resume, I think just make sure you I think use certain like formats. I normally use like some like a resume.io to
Mm.
build my resume, with basically uses AI or something. Just make sure that it goes through the ATS properly. So I'll definitely use like pre-made templates. I think that has worked,
Mm.
like like for a lot of people. So just get one from the internet and just like just use it. For example, the resume that I is just like $3, or like for 7 days it's free. So you can just leverage that, just to just get the resume out, to be honest. And for LinkedIn, as I said, just make sure you focus on the skills section. Make sure, and if you have worked with somebody, I think on a project or something, you can also give some commendation, right, on your LinkedIn, saying, okay, I have worked with this guy, just to basically see what's the work ethics are and something like that. If you are building like a following, and you're actively connecting with a lot of recruiters, right, actually, then you're able to showcase, right, what you have learned. If you keep a like a log of, like, let's say I have learned this, post a link,
Mm.
saying, okay, this is what I've learned this week. So just keep a learning blog or something.
Mm.
And if you write some I think one of the things that I think really important is write blogs, I would
Mm.
say. Write blogs and post it on LinkedIn. I think that's what I suggested. That's what we used to do back in my first job, is that we would ask people
Mm.
to write a blog on what they have learned,
Mm.
and use that blog to market yourself on LinkedIn or Twitter, right?
Yeah,
So that people have visibility on what you're doing as well.
correct.
So definitely maintaining, keeping like an open network connection, that definitely helps, right? And just make sure you connect with a lot of recruiters, like by sending, just don't send like generic email. Just
Mhm.
make sure that you make sure like what you're looking for. Okay, you can just personalize. I mean,
Personalized
with
email, yeah.
with AI and stuff, you can easily do that, just add bit of your own touch
Yeah,
to make sure that, because people, I think recruiter gets a lot of those as well, and you want to make sure that you're not copying the template and pasting it on everything.
true.
So when you're connecting, I think that definitely helps. Just maintain, I think, yeah. And other than that, yeah, this, if you when you're building a project, just share what you've done and what you're doing and your learning experience.
That builds up your credibility
Yeah.
in social media, and because usually recruiter they do back check on LinkedIn as well.
Oh yes,
And
yes.
then if you are not active enough, you are not aligning with the resume, then well,
Yeah.
you create a problem yourself.
Yeah, a lot of the job posting requires you to post your social, not social media, Facebook, but definitely the LinkedIn URL.
Mm,
That's what I faced on my last job hunt, is that you have to post your LinkedIn for most of the jobs.
yeah, that's true because the sad thing is that a lot of IT students they don't even have a LinkedIn profile,
Yeah.
and some of them have it and no connection. They don't have anything. It's like a bare bone LinkedIn format in there. So guys, if you're watching this, you know how important. You already heard from him. Make sure build the resume, build the LinkedIn, and build the project showcase and send connection request to prospect employer. You will receive the offer one day. I'm gonna go to a little bit of your exercise when it comes to developing the career and personal growth. So, what's one mistake you made earlier that others should avoid?
I think one of the mistakes that I made, I think when I was studying my career, was definitely, I think I have already said, is that just start early as you can, so that you keep track of, because that project building helps you in a sense that it gives you like a fulfillment once you complete it. So basically you see what you are doing. Sometimes what is like, if you don't see the progress, if it's not a visible, right, it's not like a fulfillment that you, because people look for like
Feedbacks,
full
instant
feed, yeah, the
feedback.
gratification, right,
True.
when they are actually doing something new. So if you don't get that gratification, I think that's you I think you lose the passion. Sometimes you lose the drive.
Mm-hmm.
So instant like feedback on things, just make something visual, I would say. Even if you want to work on the back end or something, right, in the future, I think make sure, I think you can still build like some visual feedback that can, because Yeah,
If
I
you
think
don't
that
see
was the indicator.
visibility, yeah, you're gonna think like
Yeah,
not sure what you've been learning, but you keep
yeah,
learning, and there's
yeah.
nothing to
There's
really
nothing to
show
show.
or see.
Yeah,
Yeah, that happens a
yeah,
lot to this, and that's why I
yeah,
think it's good if, for example, if you're building, let's say, system side or microservices or backend APIs, just hook up with the full stack development,
yeah.
and then you will see definitely the feedback will be making your full stack feature working.
Yeah, even though if you don't want to really learn like a front end and stuff, just make like something that gives you again feedback, as I said, just
Mm.
like simple button that once you
Yeah,
press it, right, it gets like something from the back end and basically makes a request, right?
that's
So I
right.
think that that will at least give you, okay, my thing is working, okay, this is
Mm.
exactly what I envisioned my app to be, right? Otherwise you will just say, okay, you would just go to like some tools like Insomnia or Postman, right, and you just, yeah, it's not a, not good,
Not
I
much
think
motivation.
more not, yeah,
Okay,
motivation.
definitely avoid that, guys. So, what's been your proudest moment since you become a dev?
So in my last job, I was on a hackathon. My company,
Mm-hmm.
did a hackathon, like,
Oh, the internal hackathon?
oh yeah, internal hackathon,
Oh,
and we
good.
was, I think me with, I think one other person, I think we were peer programming, and what we did was, on like on sports, like for example basketball
Mm-hmm.
or something, you have those brackets,
Yeah.
like saying, okay, this win, then the bracket goes to the, like the winning team, and this like the whole, let's say, championship bracket. It's
Okay.
like, okay, lost wins, it goes like in the bracket format.
Oh, okay.
So we built it in a way that it was like, it was really good, like animation, like
Mm.
you could scroll, and it would like collapse properly,
Okay.
and it would, and we actually implemented that on the production, like on our app. So we did that hackathon, and we actually implemented it on our production app, where it went live
Oh,
as well, and that was one of the really, that just was a really good experience, and I think I was
good,
really proud of that.
good on you. Yeah, there's always something, when we take responsibility on some product or feature, and when it comes out really good, it feels really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good to know. What would your youngest self be shocked to know about you now?
I think definitely holding, let's say, software engineering job, they would definitely be surprised. I think
Okay.
if I wasn't in Australia,
Mhm.
I would be doing like a civil engineering back in Nepal.
Oh,
So
okay.
that was my option, or could come abroad and study IT. So I think, and it wasn't even on my thought to come to Australia. It
Okay.
was to, pass that like engineering exam for Pulchok.
Oh, okay.
Then study civil or like architectural in engineering.
Mm.
And yeah, so once I didn't get the right marks, then I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna study computer, like IT, what I wanted to do anyways. So I think I would be surprised, like saying, okay,
Oh,
I'd come to Australia at all, to be honest, and this, yeah.
okay. Good to know. So, are you still happy though with the
Yeah, I
career?
think I made a really, really one of the best decisions of my life to come here, and this, yeah,
And what about the software career?
how it's going. I think I'm definitely proud of that.
Okay. How has this career changed your life or changing your life in terms of financially, mentally, and personally?
Yeah, definitely. I think mentally, in that it's good to be, like wake up and say, yeah, I've got a like really good job. Back in the days when I was student, jobs like on Hungry Jacks.
Hmm.
So, I was working late nights, right? You had to wake up and like 10, so, and that's what I think is like, I don't have to do that anymore. That
Oh,
just
wow.
keeps me on like a good mental space that, okay, I have a routine and I have a good work-life balance. And definitely,
Career security.
yes, career security. I mean, even though like tech is sometimes, up and down, like with the layoffs and stuff, but it's still, I think, the better place. And of course, I think with full-time role, I think you get a good salary on tech as well. I think software engineering is like one of the highest paid, right?
Mhm.
Like the corporate role,
Yeah.
even on like, even if you're junior, you can make pretty good money.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
So definitely, I think, uh,
Okay. The just to toss on that, the salary part, compared to what you were doing before the dev job, right?
yeah.
And now, like, what is the multiplier are you getting compared to what you used to get? And then let's imagine, okay, before you left this job, what was the job again you were doing?
So
The
at that
front
time I was
front
just
line,
working as like concierge,
frontier front
and that was
front
just
desk.
like a six like the casual like 16 hours a week.
Let's consider the hourly rate. Yeah. So if you were stuck on that role for until now, a lot of people still doing the same thing, and they stuck in the same job they did like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. They never actually pursue their career, and they wanted to pursue, but they didn't find the way, or situation is not favoring them. They still stuck there. If you were stuck on that same job, versus now, what is the payment ratio in, you don't have to tell the number,
Yeah,
just to give the perspective to anybody, like, is it worth pursuing?
4 5 times I would
Okay,
say in
yeah.
the good one.
Y-
Yeah,
which
because
is already a lot.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
guys,
but
there is a good career, there is a good financial uh, lifestyle there, right? And you have like a freedom. What's your work structure like? So you work from office 5 days, or you have a
so
remote?
2 days on office and 3 days at home.
That's
So
so much like kind of flexibility for you.
yeah, my last job was fully remote, but this was, yeah, this is bit of hybrid, but both are good in their own way. I think you can at least come to the office, I
Yeah,
think, and this, yeah,
especially like a parent, or they're planning to have like a parental
yeah,
moment. It's so helpful for them. We have few students in the past who really wanted to do the work remotely
yeah,
so that they can spend more time with the child. Of course, you need to do the work, but seeing the child around and do the work is different.
yeah. You can do some chores, right?
Yeah,
You can yeah, spend like, like you can save on commute time,
yeah,
because it takes like 2 or 3 hours, like going in and out. You can use that time to work, or you can use like that time to just just do some chores,
yeah.
and yeah,
Or
so
learn, grow something for
yeah,
the new.
yeah.
Okay, so if you could speak to every single struggling dev right now, what would you say to them?
Just make sure you give it like your 100%.
Yeah, you don't
Like
want to regret later.
regret,
Damn,
yeah.
I should have done
Yeah,
it.
I should have, like, I should have spent more time like doing this,
Mm,
so that I could get a job or something, right?
yeah,
Just make sure you don't regret the choices that you are, I think, making. Just make sure that you are giving your full 100% on yeah,
that's
learn. Yeah.
100% true. That's really, guys, a very powerful message. Do your 100% until you get the result. So I think I always have this like reverse engineering mindset. I say I'll do 100% until I get job, or I will like do whatever it takes until I get what I want. If we do have that mindset, one day we all can achieve our like goal, right? We are close to the end, guys, now. I hope you guys really found a lot of inspiration and valuable information from his own experience. Guys, learn from those who have done it. Take the advice from those who have been through your stage. Take the advice from real engineers, and then go give your 100% until you get the result. So, if anybody wants to reach out to you or take some advice from you, how can they find you?
I would mostly say, yeah, just connect with me on LinkedIn, and send me a DMs, and I'll be, yeah, happy to go through it, and yeah, just answer if you have any question.
Usually, I always ask my guests if you have any question for me. If you have any question, you can ask me any question at the end.
Just wanted to understand. I think, yeah, you said when I was talking that you started like 2003 as a dev, right? How did you start? Like
Uh,
during that time at like Nepal?
mm. When I was a child, I thought Microsoft is the only company does the computer stuff. I did not know. I was like 8 or 10 years old, and I always wanted to become computer engineer at that time. I did not know what does that mean actually, because I really don't know, like, cannot pinpoint what triggered me to become that. I believe either the one of the movie or series back in days, or one of my uncle went to US working as a software engineer. And later on, when he came back, and when we talked about his career, he said he worked for another company, some company. I said, I was surprised to know that, oh, is there another company than Microsoft who does the computer stuff? He said, then I came to like realize, okay, there are many company who does software development and then hardware development, and there is multi part of the area under the IT as well. And then since then I started thinking about, okay, then I want to become a software engineer later on. I start thinking about it, and anywhere I go, everywhere I go, I always plan to like find if they have a computer to try to build that proximity with the computer. I came from the middle range family background. We didn't have a computer, and our school was government school, didn't have the computer as well. Um, Actually, quite late in high, like a school level, I get exposed to computer through my younger brother's friend's house. So I first time saw the computer there and I was super excited. And then later on, as soon as I started having some money, extra money, I used to go to a cyber cafe.
Yeah.
Back in those days, they used to have a cyber cafe. And then I started looking for how to become an engineer. And I never actually played game there.
Oh.
Everybody used to go play the game. I used to go and learn how to become software engineer. Then I found out that the people they teach like a computer training institute. So that's where I started learning C++ and then basic HTML. So that's how actually I started because I'm so much passion in problem solving. Later on, I found out that somehow tie and put my trajectory towards my software career.
Oh, that's really nice. I think I was firstly exposed to on my school was QBasic, which was not fun. That basically put me away from computer engineering at all, to be honest.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's only after I came to Australia that I think, let's say I want to be a
Okay.
software.
And when I start writing code, actually, I used to write code into the pen and paper.
Oh,
My mom said I still have those like a copy
notes.
at home notes. I wanna one day go dig that and I wanna go through. I still remember a couple of like for loops I was writing to create that students contact list application
Yeah.
and writing that in C++, I believe, and it was then take that code and retype back into the computer. That was my part of learning. That's how I started.
Oh, awesome. That sounds, yeah, really, really good.
I hope guys that motivates you. So don't go and then write code straight away. Try write the code like me and see how well you'll become. Guys, now you heard from the person who actually came from not knowing anything, building the career as a software engineer, making pretty good lifestyle, I believe, from what we can hear from him. So you can do so too. Don't hold yourself back with the limiting beliefs. Go give your 100% in. And guys, I really want to see you are taking the action. So maybe you can commit in the comment section that you're gonna take some action today, and you make yourself accountable until you get the role or your desired software engineering job. And guys, if you have enjoyed this podcast, can you please write it down what you really love about this conversation? Write down 2 or 3 points in the comment section and tell me how did we do, and that will give me a better idea for the next guest. And if you have any question that you want me to cover, please write down in the comment as well. Thank you again for staying all the way to the end. I'll see you next.